Today is November 22nd, 2021. And just like I've stated in my other videos, I'm chronicling my life so people can recognize what true insanity is, as opposed to what they've deemed I am, which obviously I've discussed a few of my behavior disorders and things like that, and discussions between like what I've seen and what other people's, I'm not sure what else to say. I'm afraid of going to one of the gyms now because I fear that I'm going to interact with that lady that invited me over to her house that kicked out her roommate. An older woman in her 70s. And she's suffering from like mental distortions, and I don't want to be anywhere near anybody that is having these tendencies because I feel like I've already got my own stress. I had to deal with the DHS this morning, went over there because I tried to call. I got papers stating that my daughter's Medicaid was going to be, whatever, they're going to continue with her Medicaid. And I'm like, she hasn't been around me for 5 years. Get your shit together. It's tripping me out every time I see her name written, especially when it has any affiliation to me or like any association to me, since I haven't seen this kid in 5.5 years. So I'm curious because I knew that I had placed different change reports prior, notifying them that I didn't have the kid and that she shouldn't have been on my account. Yet all of a sudden, I went in there and I told her, I was like, this child shouldn't be affiliated with me anymore. I didn't tell her I didn't have custody, but I just told her. And I said, I did a change report. She was like, oh, it takes about 45 days for it to update. And so they keep sending it to the old address too, so I knew something was up. The fact of the matter is that I just don't want any attachment to anyone anymore whatsoever. So I'm not sure why they continued to put her on there if my ex-husband was receiving that Medicaid and using it during the duration that I wasn't allowed to see my kid. Well, you'd think that they would do something about it. You'd think that that wouldn't be legal. But, of course, everybody's like, well, she's not my child anymore if she's legally under someone else's care and in their custody. So she has nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with her. Doesn't matter how many gifts I sent, how many proven that I had sent gifts, all right? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I tried to reach out and communicate with these psychopaths because the government doesn't see anything beyond what's right in front of their face. And what they see is some girl that's not trying. That's what they say. That I'm not trying hard enough. I need to get a job. I need to get a stable location where I'm gonna be. And all this and that. And I'm thinking, I had that. I had that prior. I had that when I had my kid. And then it was ripped away from me because you took the words of people who physically assaulted me. And now I have nothing. So now I'm confused. I'm just supposed to take your word for it? I'm just supposed to trust the legal system here? Especially in Hot Springs, Arkansas? No. You literally allow people, predators, sexual predators, on your payroll. And I'm just supposed to accept that? You allowed an officer to come back to the house and force me into giving him fellatio. And I haven't received any compensation for anything like that because I didn't seek anything in the courts. Because I'm scared. Because if I were to open up, and now I just don't give a fuck. I will literally, I don't care if someone slits my throat. It would be a blessing because I've literally tumbled down to nothing. Sitting outside my storage unit, about to clean it out entirely because I'm not going to deal with anything anymore. Material belongings, what's that? I don't care. Children, not mine, don't care. Not under my care anymore, not my custody. I only tit-fed them. I only destroyed my body having to birth the child, but nobody gives me any credit for it. That's how it is. They'll literally eat you alive in this system. Because if you make a mistake, they're not going to be there. But to reprimand you, that's it. They're not going to sit there and help you pick up the pieces of their psychotic employees. That's how in the fuck did I end up being the one that gets put in jail after getting my ass whooped? What? How in the fuck? Tell me about that. I would really like to know. How did I go to jail? Oh, because I was on their property. Okay, so that gave my parents the right to beat the shit out of me too. Even at 17 years old when I was kicked out of my house. It gives everyone the right. And I thought, no, there's no way that my reality is this way. Every time I speak out against what I see as evil, no one else sees it as evil. They say I'm evil for speaking out against it. Okay. I mean, everybody will get their fucking karma from that. I don't know what else to fucking say about it because I'm tripping the fuck out. Had that fucking letter from this weekend that I was sitting on, and I'm thinking, like, this morning I called. I spent 5-10 minutes on the phone just waiting for the lady. And she says, I can't adjust that. I can't remove that person from your account. I was like, oh, okay. So who can? She's like, you have to go into the office and do a change report. I said, okay, well, I already did that a few weeks ago, you know. Oh, I don't know what to do. You're going to have to go talk to them. So I drove 100 miles an hour down the bypass just to get over there because I'm snapping. Because I don't care. I like to tell people what I do wrong. So I got to 110 miles an hour on the bypass. But since there's actually no record of it, incriminating myself, but I'm disabled due to mental illness. So there's your catch-22 right there. Just like the fact that people are like, you're not supposed to smoke in your vehicle. It states on the medicinal marijuana, this and that. You're supposed to be in your home, somewhere safe. This is the safest place that I have. This is my home. My vehicle is my home. So that was another catch-22. That they couldn't technically, and they still can't technically, arrest me or put me in jail or fine me because I'm parked. I'm not utilizing this motorized vehicle, and I'm gonna smoke because I'm tripping the fuck out. I'm tripping. Why is my life this way? Why do I have to be avoidant of the places that I enjoy because other people are fucking insane? Why? Why is it that my family was so crazy? Why is my mother so fucking insane? And she turns around and tells people all this shit about me. Shit about, like, how dare you? How fucking dare you? You were the shittiest fucking mother. To sit there and give me gifts and material things in exchange for any type of quality time or love or any type of anything. You said, I'm a great mother. No, you weren't. That's why everyone ends up like worse than their mother. You get these traits and you either you stop the chain or you continue on in the same cycle. That cyclical rotation of distortion. Okay? So I try to tell people, I'm like, I'm not associated with that piece of shit family anymore. I may have ties through my name, but if I ever get the money, I would definitely just remove everything from my fucking life. My last name, change it. Probably even my first fucking name, change it. Get the fuck away from people so that they don't know me. They don't realize the trauma that I've sustained. They don't realize. And you'd think, and people are like, witness protection program type shit, you know? Because I know so much of this fucking illegal shit that went on around me, and I've spoken up against it. You would think that they would protect someone like me, somebody that actually tells people the truth. And there is actually ways to prove every single fucking thing that I state. Yet no one looks into it. So I can't believe that I have that memory of speaking with that officer and filing a rape report and nobody did anything about it. I'm still sitting here in my car 2 years later or so, chilling and thinking, Man, I totally got fucked with. I totally got raped. I totally got sexually assaulted. I totally got this. And no one wants to care about it. It's in the past. And if I don't have the money to bring it up in court, traumatize myself through court proceedings and being the victim, and then not having the right amount of emotional stability to follow through with these things, just like I never fought back for my daughter. I had always presumed that they were nice people. I presumed my ex-husband was telling me the truth when he told me, I just don't believe in the constructs of marriage. We'll be together in the end. I just don't believe in it. Yet you married someone that you went to school with just a couple years after you restrained me from my own child. Look here, sir. And you're not even a sir, you're just trash. Because anybody that does that to a human being and leaves loaded guns like that, you're going to speak to someone about it at some point. You're going to have to be held accountable for driving someone else to the point of extinction, madness, the brink of insanity. You will have to speak to someone about that, regardless on this plane or the next. Like I've told everyone, like you go in and out. That's why I keep coming back and I'm like, oh shit, what do I need to correct in this life? Because it keeps fucking up. And I realized it was my associations with these people that were toxic. So now I've been refraining from socializing or interacting or engaging with any of these individuals, and I just try to better myself every day, be the person that I know I truly am inside, and what everyone told me I was not, you know? And I'm thinking, well, do you even know me? And I realized, oh my God, it's you that suffers from the mental illness and you never sought help. I was like, oh shit, that's actually true. And I feel sorry for you. And that's why I explained to one of the ladies at the YMCA that knew that one dementia lady, the crazy one. I told her we went to lunch the day before she had kicked out, like that day of that she kicked the roommate out. And I told her, I was like, man, I don't want to be held accountable if she snaps and tries to say that I stole from her or did this and this and this. I said, I don't know what to do. I explained to her everything and told her, this is what my reality is. People will literally utilize my faults, switch them around on me, and call me the perpetrator, although I didn't do anything. And that's the saddest thing, is because if you don't have money, if you are, say, like in my position, a homeless person, and it came to the point where the officers were called or something, they would literally take the words of people that are deranged because they're paying into the system financially, as opposed to the ones that are actually good people and can't, say, offer anything back aside from their genuine kindness or genuine, I don't know. I do enough talking to people to where I should get paid a shit ton of money just for having to deal with crazy, having to listen to crazy. I don't want to deal with it. I should get paid for just having to exist, because I didn't choose to exist in this plane, especially not to a pedophilic father and whatever my mother was with teen mom, you know? So you obviously know through research of your own, if you're still continuing to watch my videos, that I'm not lying about these things. These things can actually be pulled up, and the documentation through the different police agencies better be there. Like I told people, I was like, if I go and ask for these reports, if I ask for these things and they're not there, and there are other ways of finding this information, proving these instances existed, these circumstances happened, and that's exactly why I'm sitting in my car with nothing to my name aside from what you see around you. My clothing, this, and that's not even mine. It's all just loaned from the government, because that's all they've ever done is support me because my parents couldn't. So now I'm on disability, and I have been for like 6 years or so, because I'm mentally ill. That's what everyone says. I'm mentally ill because I can't deal with society. And as well it should be. I don't care what they label me. Just fucking support me. That's it. Financially support me. Do the things you need to, because I'm out. I'm fucking out. Barely fucking here. I will literally... I've been contemplating suicide because of the holidays. Like, really, I mean, not good. Like, when Leticia tries, she goes for it. 90 bars of Xanax one time, I shouldn't have fucking woke up. But I'm here. So, I'm tripping the fuck out. I want to die. Actually, what I've been begging for is my daughter, so that I can progress in a positive way, so I can get that emotional stability that I've been craving, yearning for my entire fucking life. The unconditional love I offered to my child. Yet it's not being reciprocated. So, I'm over it. No part of me do I want to engage with other human beings whatsoever. But I'm polite. I listen to them. I listen to their problems. Give them a little tidbit of advice here and there. Tell them what they're fucking doing wrong. Because I've been in therapy since I was 12 years old. I'm pretty fucking sure I see things around me and I'm like, oh, that's distortion. I'm not going to say anything, but here we go. And that's why I was always the quiet one in high school, just sitting in the corner, drawing to myself because I knew all the crazy. Didn't want to get involved with the crazy. Wasn't allowed to socialize outside of school. So even when I did socialize outside of school, I had awkwardness about me. And no, I couldn't even speak up about what was truly going on in my reality and the sexual abuse and everything like that. So I just shut up. I've always just shut up. And everybody was like, who would want to sexually abuse you? I've had people tell me that when I was like overweight and stuff. And I was like, did you see what I looked like when I was in high school? Do you see what I look like when I'm painted up now? Are you fucking insane? Of course people want to take advantage of a woman. Regardless. Especially one as curvaceous as I've always been in my entire life. So, the fact that I'm not being protected by the federal government, that I don't get help, that every time the cops are called, they look at me and they're thinking like, what did you do now? What did you do? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like every time, like when I called the cops here because I was tripped out on so much shit, and then they told me, one of the officers had mentioned something about a bomb, and I was tripping out. I could see pieces in my car, and I was like, oh my God, could those be materials for a bomb? And it was just like the undercarriage of the motorized seat. So I called the police, and 2 officers showed up, and they were just like, when are you going to stop calling us? And I was like, hopefully I don't have to stop calling you. Hopefully you're there to protect someone like me. But no, you didn't do the research. So now on your list, you see a criminal, a violator, someone that's criminal trespassed, someone that's harassed communication because she gets riled up like this to people. Because you don't do your fucking research. You just show up and you destroy people's fucking lives. So that's why I decided, I'm like, I'm not going to let these officers get away with talking down to me anymore. Who in the fuck do you think you are, just because you have a certification or some type of this and this, to think that you can destroy me more psychologically by mistreating me? No wonder people snap. No wonder people find access to guns and they say, that's the motherfucker. I'm going to kill him and his entire fucking family. So, anyway, now I can see. I can see from all aspects of things. I'm not a drug abuser. This is medicinal marijuana. That's completely different. I get prescribed this for my post-traumatic stress. I don't take any pharmaceuticals anymore because all that shit fucked me up in the brain. And I was just like so submissive to everyone. And everybody was telling me, oh, Leticia, you have to alter yourself to be around others. If you want people to like you, you have to be nice. I don't want people to like me. I tried to explain that to you when I was a child. I don't need people to like me. I need people to shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Like my entire life I've tried to ask for that. But then they're like, if you ask for that, then nobody's going to want to deal with you. And then nobody's going to want to pay your bills. And nobody's going to want to do this. I don't give a fuck. I've slit my wrist so many goddamn times, like digging into the same areas that these scars are permanent. So, tell me, if I have no saviors out there, that means I have to save myself. That means, like people have told me, I'm a miracle worker for having lost 155 pounds and having this and this and this different attributes that help other people, even with my shitty ass tone and my shitty ass mouth and the way I approach people. If I'm in a shit mood, you're gonna get shit on because I can't deal with you anymore. I can't even. For real. Y'all are fucking stupid. And I think to myself, I'm like, oh, should I feel sorry for saying these things aloud? Should I feel sorry, God? No. These people are ungodly. The people who watch my videos, that just sit back and laugh about it, or just sit back and watch me destroy my consciousness through all of this trauma, relaying it and whatever, or the things that I do when I got arrested for trespassing. You sit back and believe that it's not going to happen to you, but in one of these fucking instances, you will be destroyed just as bad, if not worse, tenfold than myself. I never went into a profession because I always knew that whatever I had gone into, I wasn't seeking necessarily financial backing as much as I was seeking something that I enjoyed doing. So then when I got to speaking to some of these people who got certifications or ended up passing whatever exams for becoming an officer or becoming this and that, and they're like, well, I'm not really happy. I went for the money. And I'm like, well, if you're not really happy, that means you're not really doing your job right. Because if you're pissed off at your work, you don't want to do your work, that turns around and that ripple effect affects everyone that you come in contact with, everyone you're influencing, everyone that it doesn't make any sense. Why be in a profession that you hate just for the financial backing? But those people that go for the money, that's where they're fucking demonic. They just don't even care. They don't care about others. They don't care about their own conscience, their own well-being, psychological well-being. They would rather be hyped up and stressed and angry all the time and working for those pennies and those coins and those dollars and those whatever. And I'm thinking, why put yourself through the stress and then turn around and it reflects poorly on you, for one. And then other people will always notice that you are spiteful and vindictive toward your job and you're not doing it correctly or 100% to your capability, whatever. What is wrong with people? Honestly, what is wrong with people? And then you don't even see it. Most people are like, what are you talking about? They've got a house and they've got a job and they've got cars and they've got a trampoline and they've got a white picket fence and they've got a golden retriever and they've got 2 kids that they ignore and send to daycare and everyone else is supposed to tend to. And then when they have access to their kid, the kid doesn't want to listen because they don't have one-on-one time with the parent and they don't actually teach the child individually or give it that encouragement one-on-one. You people are shit. And I wish I would look nice for my videos so that I could relay this information in a way that people will actually engage with. But I don't care. I don't care if you engage with what I have to say. These are the honest truths. Y'all are shit. You're not taking care of your kids properly. The way that you're turning around and shoving them in daycare as early as 3 years old, and you expect that child, because you got to go off and pay your bills, and you're thinking, oh yeah, no, the kid's doing great. Someone else is teaching your child. Someone else is giving that child affection and attention, and they're going to end up confused because they don't know who to go to at some point for their emotional support. So, I don't understand. I mean, we've done enough research through different cultures throughout the world and different, I mean, not enough research, there's always research going on, but like the temperament of children and the intelligence of children, because their minds are like a sponge when they're young. So within the first, 4 years or so, they're very impressionable, things like that. And that's where you're imprinting their personality. You're imprinting that into them during those years. And whatever they're exposed to, they're going to end up repeating. So anyway, I'm horrified. And I'm thinking, that's why I try to do the best for my kid. And I'm at a children's birthday party yesterday, and they were talking about how this daycare and that daycare. And I'm like, oh, I really just want to walk away and go slit my wrists right now, because when I was telling my ex-husband about like where I wanted to take my kid, she ended up going over across town and what we thought was the better school, but I wanted to put her in a private one, but it doesn't matter. She doesn't actually exist. She doesn't exist. In my frame of mind now, I have to just rationalize it as she never existed. I can't even go down that road of being emotionally distraught about a child that was ripped away from me too soon. And people know me personally. They know that I'm a great mother and I'm a great caregiver and I'm very attentive, until I get super stressed and I just have to walk away for a minute because I'm like, oh, I'm tripping. I want to kill myself. And I love this, whatever this is, but sometimes I get lost in whatever this reality is. You know, the texture of my skin, all of it, just all of it. And then people are like, that's just because you're high. Well, yeah, that could be a majority of it. But if I weren't high, I'd be dead. Think about it like that. If I weren't high on medicinal marijuana, I would be fucking 6 feet deep right now. So if you're trying to tell me medicinal marijuana is bad for me, yada, 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 it gets me through my fucking days. It makes me rationalize what has happened, the trauma, and what I've sustained, and it's okay to move forward. It's okay to be irrational about irrational facts, because that's the duality in life. Yes, I'm supposed to be rational 24/7, but then when you snap for having to be rational in this plane and seeing all of the distortions, all of the chaos, all of the turmoil and disruptions in other people's psyche that cause them to act out in such a way that harms others so immensely and their family and that family's lineage and everything. Like, you're sending a ripple in time for everything that you are doing around you. Like this, my ex-husband wanted me dead. He left 2 loaded guns with me. I had to rationalize that. I had to swallow that harsh pill and move on with my life. And I realized after a certain point, everyone said, you're just hurting yourself. Like I was overeating and I was taking these psych meds because I listened to him and his advice where he said, you should just take the medications. And I was like, I don't know if I want to take any medications, the side effects and whatever. And then I told him, like, I need medications. And I was like completely fucked up because I couldn't smoke. Because they said that smoking was what was causing me my troubles. And that's like completely the opposite, because all those years I was so rational when I just smoked marijuana, not cigarettes, because I don't do that. Anybody that smokes cigarettes cannot be trusted, because if they know that they are damaging their bodies through that carcinogen, day in and day out from doing this habit, and they're still okay with it, don't care, that's a sociopath right there. If they're trying to give you advice and everything, don't listen to someone that smokes cigarettes. Because, first of all, they don't care what they're doing. They're toxifying their body. They don't care what they're doing to their teeth. And your teeth are extremely important for the rest of your life, like your digestion and all that. I would maintain the parts of your body. Go to the doctor, get your eyes checked. I've got 20/20 vision as of a few weeks ago. I've got great teeth. Yes, I got stuff in my mouth. I just had some oatmeal. Anyway, just because my teeth are a little crooked doesn't mean, and I was always picked on for these little flaws of mine. And I've always been so self-conscious about all these things because I was never perfect enough for society. No one can ever be. Not when they're born into a low-income system, that weird caste system where you either need to jump through some hoops before you jump through some hoops and some flaming hoops and do some backward bends and also the splits here and there. So I feel like people don't really understand me. I feel like people just want to take advantage of me still psychologically. So that's why every time I encounter some things, I just want to snap. I would just want to prove to society, okay, here's your crazy. Let me murder everyone around me in 2 seconds. And people are like, what do you mean? Oh, I just don't even know. Leticia just doesn't even know. She's not always here. Like when I lit that bed on fire in front of my ex-husband, and he was freaked the fuck out. And I was like, just go. I'd rather burn in this fucking house by myself. Get the fuck out. So, and he didn't understand. He thought that was crazy. And I'm thinking, what? Is that crazy? Get the fuck away from me. And I wasn't even smoking weed at that time. It was completely my sobriety that caused my insanity and my mental breaks. Because his family had physically fucking assaulted me and no one did shit to try to fix it or compensate for what they had done wrong. Still, I'm pissed about it to this fucking day, and I would strangle them with my fucking bare hands if I had the ignorance in me. It's only ignorant people that raise their hands and fists to others and want to hurt them. Only ignorant people. That's why why would I hurt you? Why would I even impede on your space, on your personal space? Even when I see children, I don't want to touch you. If you offer a hug or something, okay, cool. But I'm not trying to force my will upon this child. So when people and they're like, oh, go give her a hug. Go give so-and-so a hug. And I'm like, why are you forcing your kids to act like that? Why are you forcing your kids to like other people? Let them do it in their own time. If they want to offer me a hug, they'll offer me a hug eventually. And I get hugged by little kids all the time. And I did ask to hold my friend's baby yesterday, but it got fussy. So I was like, here, it's fussy right now. It's mom. So, and I would never try to fake that. So anybody that tries to take over somebody else's place, that's mental distortion too. Like my ex-husband getting a new wife and allowing that woman to raise my child. That would piss anybody off after so many years. And that's when people snap, and that's when they go murder families. And I've seen it in the documents and things like that. That's why I tell people about my insanity, because they're like, no, one day she's gonna snap, she's gonna do it. Kill myself? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to do anything near anybody else. Stay the fuck away from me and my shit. I wish I had a puppy. That's all I want right now is a fucking puppy. You can never make up for what you've taken from me. None of you. My father already ripped away most of my humanity when I was a kid, beating the shit out of me, making us follow him around when he was pissed off. All these crazy instances. Beating us and touching me, and every time I walked by, he'd be pinching at my nipples or grabbing at my cooch. And that wears on you after so many years. I tried to explain to people, I've already been through enough. Been forced to get straight A's in school. Forced to have to go home and clean up after everyone, doing the dishes and the laundry, and all on my own. I had to do everything, and cleaning the house and sweeping and mopping, because after a certain point, the boys were supposed to deal with boy things and not, the girly things. So that left me to tend to everything. And I just loved animals. So I would collect a bunch of animals like a fucking hoarder. And every one of them meant I would steal animals sometimes from the pet store that I worked at. When I was a kid, it was a little like, and it wasn't really necessarily stealing as much as it was like, oh, you want to come home with me? Okay, cool. Like hamsters here and there, or like mice. And I always felt bad because I was like, okay, what can I do aside from like just working harder to try to make up for that money that was lost? But I'm sure Mr. Hemi wouldn't have minded, knowing that I had gone through so much. He was always such a kind older man. And I always felt like people were always looking out for me, but at the same instance, I always had that weird feeling like I was always being watched in a sexual way because of my dad and because of my brother and everything that had happened. It's crazy how I have to put my videos out here like I'm having therapy with myself every day, because that's what it's like. It's like, at least if I know that my existence was put out there for my child to see, I mean, I guess she exists still. Sometimes I wonder, I haven't seen her. I don't know her. I don't know anything about this kid. She was raised by someone else. Some other bitch. So, for me, it's like, is it jealousy? Or is it just the fact that I know right from wrong, and I'm like, oh God, I would never do that to someone else. Try to replace them, try to murder them. And then I think, oh my goodness, my life has a story that needs to be shared because other people have gone through and lived through these instances as well. And they need to be exposed from now on. I just feel like people need to recognize it's all right to talk about mental distortions, because it's not necessarily the ones that are labeled that are crazy. It's the ones that are not labeled that are actually insane, depraved. So, because they don't seek help psychologically to understand themselves and the way that their body works and whatever and yada yada, they should have people out there to teach grown-ass adults how to maintain their bodies and brush their teeth and floss their teeth. I mean, I've seen so many people here in the South that don't even know how to do that. I didn't know they were jealous of me. I didn't. So I thought, oh yeah, you don't know how to brush and floss? Okay, gross. But but what is it to me? It means nothing to me. Fuck you, people. Like, if you didn't learn when you were a kid, you'll never fucking learn. And I make comments here and there like, don't you know it's going to be bad for your cardiovascular system? Also, that means that inevitably when men have bad teeth, it affects the circulatory system, and that means you're going to be less likely to get an erection later on. Blah, blah, blah. It's just like little things. Sure, I've just made comments about it, joking around with people because I want to piss them off. Apparently I'm not supposed to talk about sexuality and gender and whatever. Still to this day, I can't be myself. And I can't just talk to boys like they are boys. So I talk about the reproductive system. I tell people like how arousal and this and that, and it's just pheromones and all these different physiological changes in the body. And I understand them fairly well. And then other people are like, yeah, of course I understand it. No, you didn't take biology. Like, you didn't take human anatomy. I did. Look in or some of my high school classes. I'm friends with some of my teachers on Facebook. So, whatever. Like, people are insane. I do not understand people. Like, I just want to delete myself. Is that a thing? Like, can I just, like, delete my entire existence? Could that happen? And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm in between phases of reality and dimensional whatever the fuck. Because the things that I'm seeing and hearing, that apparently I've got great hearing, nearly perfect hearing. I've got 20/20 vision. I have good teeth, obviously, and all this shit. And I'm thinking, what is going on with me? If it's just the marijuana, okay, I understand that. But if I go without the marijuana, that's when I want to get razor blades and I want to start cutting. And then I can't do that because everybody's going to see it. And then I'm like, God, that'll be a huge fucking wound. I'll have to stay home. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why you cut areas that nobody sees and nobody's supposed to be looking at. So I used to slice on myself in areas that, anyway, I would really like not to do that, but people are fucking crazy and they draw people to these points, and I'm thinking like, God, and I have to control myself with society's restrictions and demands forced upon me at all times. I know I want to smoke weed. I know psilocybin from psychedelic mushrooms are good for me because I have severe post-traumatic stress, complex post-traumatic stress, mind you. So, and I research all these topics so that I know it's precisely what I'm suffering through. And then people are like, she's a demon. She's got too many personalities. She's got this and this. And I'm thinking, you don't even know. It's all cooped up within my psyche because I'm frustrated that nobody does their fucking jobs right. I thought I was doing a good job. I thought all my fucking straight A's would lead me somewhere, that I would have the money and the finances to finish college and have something and build myself a little fucking nest egg. But I didn't get that opportunity because I snapped too many goddamn times because of everybody's hands all over me. I'm going insane today. November 22nd, 2021. I have to keep track of all these numbers and days, and it's fucking driving me insane. Why can't I just be? I wish I had something to do every day, but I don't. I have nothing. I literally am paid to exist. And people are like, well, why don't you just take away her allotment and see what she does? I would literally OD. I would go find some heavy fucking drugs like heroin and I would OD. That's exactly what the fuck I would do. I'm not even fucking joking. So, like, either you work with me here or you work against your own U.S. citizens, the people that you claim to love, the people that you claim to protect, the people that you claim that you wanted here in this existence, because you allowed my dad up to the U.S. He's still a resident alien, but nobody kicks his ass out. No, because he put too much money into the system. Yada, yada, yada bullshit. So, as much as I want to see within my fucking reality, within this lifespan, everybody's fucking karma, all I also want to do is be like, peace, bitches, I'm out. why do I want to murder people? And then it's like, oh yeah, now I know. Because they're fucking pieces of shit. And then people are like, you're going to get in trouble for saying that. Oh, really? They wanted me dead. And they actually acted upon it. They actually physically assaulted me. They actually left me with loaded guns. And I can't verbally say I want to kill somebody because I'm super hyper intelligent and I could actually get away with it? Oh, that's why. So there's certain restrictions for certain amounts of intelligence and this and this and this. Like I'm a fucking sociopath. And I don't even think I'm that fucking smart. I think that just people presume that because of my vocabulary and the way that I can switch things and get away with certain things. And I'm super conniving when I need to be. And I only do that to get myself away from danger. So people know when I freeze up, because I am very open and honest with my initial reaction with nearly everything. Okay? If I am startled, you will know. If I am freaked out, you will know. You can tell with my eyes. My eyes cannot lie unless I'm in the stage where I'm like, I don't trust you and I'm going to manipulate the situation so you don't know I'm afraid. But a majority of the time, I would rather just be open and honest with my fucking reactions because people need to know how they're freaking people out. You freak people out. And I'm supposed to be like, oh no, appropriate your fucking self because why? I want to go work out right now. I want to go do this and this and this. But I can't. Because I'm ranting. Because none of this was fixed when I was a kid. And all I want to do is slit my wrists and throat. And then I'm just like, and then when I'm open and honest about this shit with people, they're like, they think I'm crazy. And I'm like, hold on. You don't know the half of it. Let me continue on with my story. Let me get down every little detail. You'd understand. Stress. No child should have to go through this much stress. And I'm not even a child anymore. I'm 34 fucking years old. And I feel like, oh my God, where the fuck did my life go? What? This was a wasted reality. But now I'm just trying to relay everything to everyone else. So yeah, I lost that 155 pounds within the last few years. And I tell everyone, naturally, through diet and exercise, no pharmaceuticals were used, nothing. And people are like, oh, well maybe she's not that crazy. I don't know, I beg to differ. Apparently I'm fucking psychotic and I shouldn't be around kids and I shouldn't be around this and that because I would influence them to be themselves. I would influence them to have a voice. I would influence them to be creative. Oh my God. I don't want to fucking kill myself. I haven't done so much work on my arms and there's still more to do. I feel like, oh my God. So much to have to fix the problems. And people are like, you're gonna have to financially too to... No, whatever. I'll just figure it out day by day. Let that... Everybody will have to suffer for what they've fucking done to me. People are like, well, they're not suffering yet. They must be good people. Oh, yeah. Just wait and fucking see. Just fucking wait. You don't fuck with someone like me. You don't. You don't continually kick me while I'm down. You don't tell everybody lies and manipulate fucking slander my goddamn name in order to make yourself look better so that you can have this and this and this and think it's not going to come back around on you. So everybody thought at first, they were like, why are you doing these things? Because they slandered me since I was a child even, to tell me that I was crazy and this and this and this, and they told everyone, don't trust her, she's being dramatic, she's just a little actress, yada yada yada. What? What? Now I realize so much in reality that I just want to kill some people. You can't say that. People think that when you're angry, you're going to act upon it. And then we're in the South, and we don't know about psychology, so, there's that, too. We think that since you said it, we should protect that person that left you with loaded guns, because we're so sensible down here. And we're gonna put you in jail for trespassing on this taxpayer's property because he's protecting that child from this and this and this. No, he's just making that fucking shit worse for that kid. Totally. Because that kid is never gonna be detached from me if she exists. I mean, I don't know. I'm in that in-between plane because how the fuck should I know? I haven't seen her in 5 goddamn years. I just know my tits are all fucking saggy from breastfeeding, and I know that I've got scars from this and this and this, and I know that my bladder fucking leaks just a little bit when I hold my piss for too goddamn long. So, I'm pretty fucking sure in those photos, and the ones I'll be taking video of to post on YouTube, so I can leave this fucking shit empty, because I'm not carrying any of that bullshit with me. I'm not carrying any of those fucking stupid ass photos. I'm not carrying any of it. I'm burning my fucking shit. Fuck everything. That doesn't exist. That reality doesn't exist to me anymore. So I'm like, people finally, they made me snap. Again and again and again and again and again. That child's better off without me. That's what they told me. That child's better off without you. If you can't get the $3,500 to go to court to fix this, then you don't deserve that child. You don't deserve to influence that child because you don't got the finances. Excuse me, I did have the fucking finances, and that fucking just got removed from me. Everything got removed from me. My home, my pets, everything, because you said you had to protect this homeowner that said I was going to go and kill him 2-3 years ago. Now, did that happen? No. But I need that money so that I can fucking go to court so I can get visitations at the very least. Leticia, don't even call me by my proper name. You are disrespectful in the South. Leticia Collins, you need to go to these and this and this courses and yada, anger management that I went and I had probation for smoking weed. For 9 months, you put me on fucking probation right before it was legal for me. Wasting my fucking time, wasting my gas, wasting my psychological just efforts. I mean, just waiting on my psychological distress. Because I was already removed from my kid at that point, and then you're gonna enforce your will upon me, make me go and do piss tests and shit for 9 months over weed? You guys are fucking insane. And I say guys, because I'm from the North. And then also, too, it's like, yeah, y'all are fucking stupid. If you think that this and this and this, marijuana is so dangerous, it's a gateway drug. Yet I've never in my life done any other fucking drugs. No fucking hard drugs aside from the pharmaceuticals you shoved down my fucking throat. The South shall rise. Fucking ignorant pieces of trash down here. You gonna tell me what the fuck? For real? Fuck you people. And fuck your mamas for teaching you wrong. Yeah. Don't be disrespectful to our families. They're the ones that raised us in trash, shitty houses and yada yada. And they're the ones in this and this and this. Yet I don't ever talk to them no more because I realized they had psychological problems and they led into my own psychological problems. Yet I don't deal with it with nobody. I don't tell nobody. I don't go to a therapist. I don't go to this and that because I can deal with it because I'm a real boy. Fuck you people. I'm a real man. Yeah, Sure the fuck you are. Sure the fuck. I'm more of a man than most fucking men around here. Swear to fucking Christ. If I can change car parts and shit, which I do, and people have seen me do, then you can just kiss my fucking ass. You truly fucking can. So, yeah, that's what it's like living in the South. 14 years down here, this is what has happened to me. And I try to explain to people that I went to school with and everything and up north, like, whoa. Do not come down here unless you feel like being reprimanded for nothing and being reprimanded for being different. And some of them are all like, no, we're becoming more cultured. We're becoming more cultured. We know the differences between the Chinese and the Vietnamese and the Viet Cong and the Vietnamese and the Kukadidis and the Japanese. You're fucking insane. You're not even respecting them on their own fucking terms. You don't know. You don't ask them. You don't try to translate it in your fucking phone, which you could. But you don't. You're like, oh, I got to speak English because that's the number one in this country. Fuck you, people. Learn a second language. And I can say that because I know Spanish. And then I picked up a little sign. American sign. Yeah, I fucking hate America. I mean, obviously, I love America. I love America. I donate my blood for America. I do this and that for America. I bend over backwards for America. I split myself in half for America. Because I need that capitalistic money, right? I need that money. I need that money to fix my problems, because that's going to put more money into our system to have to deal with your individual problems, because they didn't warn us for that shit in school. Hey, just so you know, if you call the police, they're going to want a ticket and put somebody in jail at any cost so that they can get you in the system, so they can get money for having to do their jobs. They have to finance that's why people ticket speeders and yada yada, and all of a sudden you've got a speeding ticket for going 2 miles an hour over. And it's like, wait a second, I just saw that guy do 5. Well, I'm sorry, here's your ticket, because you went and you broke the speed limit, and I'm needing to have a, what is that? I've got a quota. I've got a quota to fill. I gotta make sure everybody knows that they're a criminal in some form or another. Because you're not, for enforcing your fucking will. Stupid ass will. And they think that these people are psychologically sane enough to be driving around and having guns on them, shooting innocent bystanders because they pull out a phone or whatever. Dumbasses. Swear to God. And then all the people down here, racist, can't even fucking tell one person from another person. I get people ask me all the time, are you sewing? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, what? No. And then people tell me I look Romanian or this and this and this. And I'm thinking, whatever. What the fuck ever. You guys are fucking crazy. I'm going insane, and all I want to do is carve my skin. Like, that's the only thing going through my fucking mind right now. It's just like slicing it out, slicing all of this reality out of my fucking, draining my fucking reality. You people are fucking insane. I can't deal with this. People are like, you should appropriate. What are you trying to expose to the world? Am I crazy? Am I crazy for everyone driving me crazy? That's what I'm trying to relay. Apparently that's all it is. That's all it is. Me just being crazy because I have opinions, because I just don't know any better. I'm just a girl that was too educated for my lower class reality. And I didn't get the finances because I didn't get any of that funding, and I didn't get that emotional support leading into college where somebody was there mentoring me, because they were like, yeah. And sure, I liked boys because I wanted, at that point, wanted to be consoled by something. And then I got my poodle, and my poodle lasted me 12 fucking years. I'm dying. Fucking dying. And then when I try to make contact with people and I think for a moment that I'm safe, it's never safe. These people are deranged. I need to get the fuck out of this life. Out of this skin. This organic material. People are deranged. They will literally slice your throat to steal the clothing off your back. Wow. Oh my God. Everything is horrifying. I'm actually going to be fine after I expose these emotions. Fine enough to manage through the day. I'm sure I'll relay what I've done later on. Like, a majority of the time I don't capture myself when I'm going to go do anything fun or interesting. That's why you hardly ever get any videos of me dressed up, because I'm thinking, why should I give a shit? Why should I'm still the same person. Later on in the day, I'll get dressed up, cleaned up after having lived through all this trauma, just like, I swear to God, it's so painful. Like, people don't even realize the physical pain I live with because of my psychological pain, like the emotional trauma. What? I literally drop, my body will reject everything. And then I'm just like, that's why I'm able to do the splits, because I detach, because the pain is not there. I mean, it's there, but it's really not there, because I've lived through way worse psychologically, way worse. So I'm just like, what the F? When is this gonna be over? When? So, I don't know, man. I totally just want to be like, hey, knock on people's doors, tell them what the fuck is wrong with them. It's some people that have everything, nice, whatever, and they're like, I don't talk to my children because this and this and this. That lady was like, oh, this is the so-and-so, she's bringing a black guy to Thanksgiving, and what? I've never had an issue with color personally. My family was racist. My father was extremely racist. And then I was like, what am I? The older I got, I realized, I was like, oh my God, I have like tendencies toward racism just within my thoughts. But then I'm like, that's not how I truly feel. Like, what I feel is that everybody is the same thing. Like, we're all human, just in a different body. And we can connect to the same consciousness, the greater consciousness, depending on our differences in frequency and whatever. So, like, interacting with other people, that's why you just don't have that chemistry with some people, and other people you do. So, regardless of whatever religion. Because I don't care about your religion. I don't care about your color. I don't care about any of that. If you're a human being and you're being kind to me, then I should be kind to you as well. And, like, that's how I see things. That's why children enjoy my company. That's why animals enjoy my company. And I don't know what else to say about that. Aside from, fuck you people. And you're destroying the good ones. And you're letting all these crazy ones actually rule the world. And I'm thinking, whoa, it's backwards. What's wrong with you? Okay, I'm out. Maybe I'll reincarnate to a place another 500 years from now. That way I don't have to suffer through any of this emotional turmoil of having to be a woman and having to be a mixed race and having to be this and this and this and the low income system, because I can't seem to get myself out of it because I'm suffering so much and I have no one else to lean on. Not even a therapist that I paid for. And he's just like, I'm out. No rational effort in relaying any kind of sincerity toward the situation. No compassion whatsoever. He just cut out. After all those videos, if you saw how he was he was praising me, and now nothing. And it's like, wow, people really just don't care about you unless they're getting something from you. And I was like, man, I don't want to be like that. So I try to offer some semblance of just whatever I've got, snacks here and there. Like, there's nothing, and I'll be a listening ear. And if you listen to me for a little bit, I'll tell you what I've got. That's how I know this information. That's all I need to relay. That's it. I'm over it. I don't want to have I don't want anything but acquaintances in my life, because friends don't last by your side. Family? What's family? What is family? I wouldn't know. Family is not a good word for me. When people tell me, they're like, well, don't you have any family? Please don't bring up that word. That's traumatic for me. No, I have no family. I have no one. I have nothing. I am no one, and I am nothing. So, and it doesn't pain me at all to say that, because I know it's the truth. After years of realizing it, I had to recognize I am no one. I am nothing. And all I have to offer is what I have. And that's it. And for some reason God graces me with a new day. Every time I'm here and you see a video, or every time this and that, a photo of me, I guess I exist. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know sometimes. I suppose I exist. I mean, I think this is real. But after all the pain I suffered and everything I've seen and everything I've heard from other people, because I'm empathic and I feel their emotions, I don't know. I'd have to say that I'm crazy and I might be dead right now. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving week. Even my ex-husband and his family and my family, everybody. I'm no one and nothing to anybody, and I shouldn't be, because I didn't offer enough to them. It's a paying system. It's a barter system. You have to pay in to get certain respect, and I shouldn't be respected because I'm less than human. Like the woman that wanted me to stay with her and everything. I don't know if I had mentioned, but the first night that I was there, she wanted me to stay in her room. And then the roommate her name is Margot. She had a little dog, a little bit, and she made up the bed so that I could sleep next to her. And I was like, yeah, I just want to sleep. By the time it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, I just wanted to pass out. And the lady was like, oh no, you don't want to, 'cause she was drunk by that point, because she was drinking incessantly. You don't want to sleep in there with her. You can sleep on the couch. I was like, okay, I'll sleep on the couch. And everybody's arguing about where they're going to sleep, because Margot wanted to sleep on the couch and leave me in the bed. And I was like, whatever, okay, whatever, I don't care. So, but the lady in her home, she was like, well, no, you can just sleep in the third bedroom because that'll be yours anyway. And I was like, we already discussed that I would either sleep on the couch or in her bed, or, and she was like, no, you'll just sleep in the third room. At 1 a.m, there was no bed in there. There was nothing but a floor, a wood floor. So she wanted me to sleep on the floor that evening. I was over it. I went ahead and I brushed my teeth. She wouldn't even leave me alone while I was brushing my teeth. She's told me I couldn't use the other bathroom on the other side of the house. I had to use the bathroom in her room, and I was like, okay, whatever. I brushed my teeth, went back into the room where I'd left the things in Margot's room, and she had, the bed was nice and made up, and I was like, I'm over this. I wasn't trying to appease the homeowner at that point, because I knew she was suffering through some kind of psychological distortion, and I fell asleep in the lady's bed. And then the next night, I didn't even sleep there. She pawned me off, the homeowner. The first night I was there doing my laundry, 2 technicians had come by for electrical, cable and stuff like that. And she tried to pawn me off on them. And at first the one was married, so she didn't get into it, but she was flirting with him all crazy. And then when the second one came in, he was 20 years old. and both of them were trying to get his number, like, and they forced me to write down on paper my number to give to him. And I went up to him and I apologized. I was like, look, they won't leave me alone unless I just give you this and talk to you, but I really don't want to talk to you, and I don't talk to men. I don't socialize with men. So we talked, and thank God he never messaged me afterward, because, you know, all he wanted, he was 20 years old, and I told him, I was like, I'm not looking for anything, and he was like, oh yeah, well, and at that point, you know, when they're 20, all they want to do is fuck. So I realized that the next day, when we had gone over to the Toyota dealership and came across two of the salesmen there, she was trying to pawn me off on them as well, and she was like, oh, are either of you single or whatever, and saying like I was single, and I was like, oh my God. And she told him I'm homeless, and the one dude offered like, well, do you need a place to stay? And I was mortified that this woman introduced me as Felicia again, you know, like doesn't know my name, and then had mentioned immediately, well, she has a daughter that's whatever years old, always wrong with the number. And I was just quiet, and I was like, and then she went on and on about I haven't like seen my kid and whatever, so she introduced me as my trauma. And I was just mortified. I mean, I feel like that is so traumatic, just interacting with other people, that I should get paid for having to sustain so much more trauma. I'm not even lying. I should get paid for having to deal with people and their disgusting messes. I should be paid by these people. I wish I could just, if it were a thing, like sue everyone for my psychological issues, like fucking gross, roaches, this and that. You lied to me. You said your place was clean. If only there were a way to hold people to their word, but there like isn't in this day and age, which is horrifying. So yeah, so the old lady, she introduced me as that, and I actually spent the evening with one of those salesmen from the Toyota dealership at his family's house, and like obviously nothing happened or whatever, but at the same time I was just like, this lady. And so I showed up at her house again then, like the following morning, and like I knew she was in and out doing things and going places and whatever, and if ever you frustrated her, she was always like, I'm out, like I gotta go right now, and I'm like, so I understood that she was going through stuff, but I didn't think it was like that bad until later on in the day when she got a phone call, and I was trying to console her for this and that. She was freaking out. She had actually like gotten into the fetal position in her bedroom while I was standing there holding the phone with her new boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, and he's an older gentleman as well, 70s or so. And the woman got out, crouched down in a fetal position, and was trembling and shaking, and she was like, get that woman out of my house, meaning the roommate. And I was like, what the hell am I looking at? And I was trying to relay to her boyfriend on the phone, like, I don't know what's going on. I am kind of startled by this whole situation too. Later on, when I saw her discussing with him, she actually hung up on the phone with him at one point when I had first got there, because he was saying something. He was being so sweet and kind to her and everything, and she just hung up on him. So when he called back, he was like, oh, I guess there was a misconnection, and I was like trying to like cover up for her, like I guess the phone might have dropped, and she was like, no, I hung up on him because he said he wouldn't talk to you. And I was like, that's not what was said whatsoever, lady. And I'm just thinking, like, what is going on? So it was on speaker when she and like they were talking, and he made the comment that he would help her financially. And this before the roommate got kicked out, so I knew that this was signs of like a psychopath or a sociopath, probably more than likely sociopath. But when he had mentioned that he would help her financially by offering her $300 to $400 a month to help her in her circumstances, her face lit up. Like she went from like being all grumpy and everything, and then she heard like, oh, you're gonna give me $300 to $400 like a month, and like it was horrifying. Like in my life, I've seen people that are like super deranged, and I know when that look comes upon someone's face, you know, they're snapping, and they're anyway. So she was super excited that he was gonna pay her bills after that point, that she decided she was going to rip off that roommate and kick her out before that, before she ended up paying or whatever. So the only thing they could do is tell the roommate, take it up in civil court. But the roommate, how is she going to do that when she barely has enough money? She gave all her money to the lady. The first day I was there, the homeowner came up to the roommate and was saying, this and that money, this and that, and whatever. And she was getting money from the roommate. And the roommate mentioned, she was like, I'm just like an ATM to this woman. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I don't know any different. But all I saw was that they were exchanging money and whatever. And then the roommate had claimed she paid up until the first. But there was no written documentation. So the homeowner knew. But then the way that she was freaking out, though, and the way that she had went into her bedroom and was like trembling on the floor. But then she would get up in an instance if somebody would tell her something like they were going to give her, I don't know, it was super weird. I never want to get to that point. Please take me out back and shoot me if I get to that point. Not even playing, because this woman had bills to a certain point and she couldn't cover her bills, and all she was doing was robbing Peter to pay Paul, because she didn't receive any money from her ex-husband's life insurance, apparently. So she was going off the deep end of like, where am I going to get this money? God will provide. She was talking about God, this and that. And that's why I thought at first, when I was safe with her, that I would be able to rest for a little while, that I'd have a safe place to just, okay, here's a couple days. Because she said that she did missionary work and whatever, and she liked to give back. And normally I'm just like a charity case to most people. I'm too tired to deal with any individuals anymore. If that kind of crazy shit is going on, I want nothing to fucking do with it. When the officer showed up, when I called the police, I told the officer, I'm very scared. She's saying I'm her caregiver. I'm not her caregiver. I never signed up for that. Like, that's beyond me, in the sense that, like, yeah, I was telling her I love her. I did say, okay, mama, at the certain instance, because and that's when she snapped, and she started telling everyone too that I was her adopted daughter and whatever. And I was just like, okay, I love you as an individual, and I wish I had a mom, but I cannot take care of you if you are mistreating other people like that. I will not associate with you. That was not okay. What she did, in her words and in the eyes of God, and kicking out that roommate, and she was saying that the roommate was bringing alcohol, and I could smell alcohol in the homeowner's breath. And I was like, okay, I just got to get out of here. There's too much overwhelming manipulation and contradictive, I don't know. It was such a contradiction, just all of it. What she was stating, what was happening, what I was witnessing. I had to back out. I was like, I knew not to keep my things in there. I only had taken my bags in there and left, and that was it. And I didn't touch any of her things. I swear to God, like, I would never. And when she offered me that $100, I didn't want to take it. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing for this, because, you're giving me. She's like, oh, you'll work for it. And I was like, yeah. Within that 48 hours that I had to deal with that woman on a personal basis, I feel like I should have gotten paid more than that. I'm not even lying. Because when I saw how she reacted to the roommate, I knew that nobody's safe around that woman. And I realized then after, when she told me a few things about her daughter, and her daughter, she was throwing things away of her daughters, and I knew that it was just like, oh my God, like, slamming things around. I tried to feed her. I tried to get her things here and there, and I thought, like, I don't know how to help people like that. I can understand if you get into like a caregiver position and everything. I get that. I was involved in her life for less than 48 hours, and she switched her entire life to appease herself, and she wasn't even trying to appease me because she couldn't even say my name properly. But she was just sort of using me and her distortion as someone that would always be there to care for her. And I feel sad that I wasn't. After a certain point, I told the officer, I was like, can you help me escape from this? Because I need you to help me lie to leave this. And that makes me feel really bad because I was so scared. Like, my heart was racing when the officers got there because they were screaming at each other. I can't deal with domestic violence like that. I had enough of it growing up and enough of it throughout different relationships. I can't deal with it. So, anyway, yeah, I still can't believe that I have to relay these topics to the public like this, as opposed to having a therapist and doing it behind closed doors. But then again, people wouldn't realize what kind of crazy's living right next door to them. So I think it's beneficial to recognize the differences in mental awareness, mental illness, and yada yada, and what the differences truly are. And we all should be more mentally aware as opposed to being mentally ill or labeled as such and such. Because that lady, I don't even know if she's got proper labels. I knew she'd been in a psych ward before. The homeowner, the one that invited me over, she'd been in a psych ward before. But I don't know. I don't know what had happened with all of that. And she showed me some of the pharmaceuticals she was on, and I was on those pharmaceuticals. I was like, man, no wonder I was having such mood swings and yada yada and all that crazy demeanor and behavior that I even thought at one instance was okay. Wow. I think after this an hour and a half of filming, I'm gonna have to straighten up, use the restroom and everything. And wow, I wish I could go to my normal gym, but now I'm worried that I'm going to run into the lady and she yip-yaps about everyone, and she tries to get everyone to see things from her perspective. So she's probably going to go around and tell everyone she gave me $100 and I never got anything in return. And I don't know how to handle it one-on-one, because I'm just like, oh my God, whatever, crazy. And then she's going to call the cops on me for stealing. No, that was a gift. You offered it. It was right there in front of the ATMs. There was witnesses standing outside of it. If you go through the cameras, they would say this, whatever. So, I don't know. I just want to kill myself. Honestly, if I could just jump off of a building right now and it wouldn't be too painful, and knowing if I would die, I would do it. For sure. No ifs, ands, or buts, because there's nothing holding me to this plane anymore. There's no child. There's no Thanksgiving. There's no Christmases. There's no nothing. And people realize that when they've got these people like me, and then you just see them wandering around homeless, just getting drunk all the time and whatever, and you talk shit about people like that because they can't handle their reality. And in actuality, they just didn't get the same privileges as you did. That's why you get to laugh at people like us. Because you had mommy and daddy. Or even if you didn't have mommy and daddy, you had somebody, grandma, grandpa, you had somebody. But the people like us that don't have anybody and realize that you can't go back to those people because they will literally destroy your life, there's the difference. I think people are insane. They don't even realize they're insane. I had to trim my nails. People are like, they're white, they're so long, they're natural. Yeah, these are my natural nails. Be jealous. Oh, Most people are too. The stupid ass shits that they are. Don't be jealous of other people. You got your attributes for a reason. Mine is so I can horrify people. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving week, like I had stated prior, but these are just my rants of what's going on in my life, and I want people to recognize, like, you're not alone. Try not to kill yourself. It's lonely out here, but there's got to be somebody, even if these random people. But I swear to Christ, if I keep getting these crazies, swear to Christ, I will literally, it's getting to that point, man. I cannot even save my goddamn self. Have a lovely week, everybody. I'm tripping. Probably still have to make more phone calls for any random shit before I travel. Ooh. I gotta get rid of all the rest of this crap in here, so if anybody wants my crap, just let me know. I'll just give you all my artwork, and there you go. Trash. Everybody just storing trash for trash people like me. Nobody and nothing. People are like, she's over dramatic. If this is what's going on in my head 24/7, I'm pretty sure it's not drama. It's more like trauma. I like to meditate and get into that in-between space. I'm gonna do that for a while too today. This is not healthy for me. Dealing with other humans is not healthy for me. They are insane, and I'm not getting paid enough to deal with these bitches. Anyway, it's gonna take forever for this to fucking upload too. Jesus, why do I make such long videos aside from I just want to get this out so you can deal with it for the day? That's what's best. I can't deal with it anymore. It's like, oh, look to your community to help you. I look around and the only community I see is online. Because the community I see out here doesn't want to interact with someone like me, or they tell me, you have too much already. We're going to have to take away from you. We're going to have to take from you because you're not trying enough. You're not offering enough to our society and our communities for us to give a shit about you. And we don't see anything inspirational or worthwhile about your life in particular. So you should die. Okay. I mean, that way you could give the resources, my allotment, to other people. But technically I'm not supposed to kill myself. It has to come from someone else. So please. Fucking crazy ass pieces of shit in the world. And you're gonna tell me I'm fucking crazy for having these thoughts, for having an open mind, for recognizing the differences between abuse and compassion. Fucking idiots. I want to get some shit on video just to show to the world how fucking stupid and crazy this fucking realm is. I'm over it. I'm having a rough morning. I don't give a fuck if I'm fucking cussing and crying on camera and shit like that. That's what needs to be shown. People are going through crazy bouts of this and that psychosis, and they don't show it to everybody. And then when they snap in front of somebody, they're like, oh my God, bipolar. Oh my God, you're bipolar for going home and doing your crazy shit. You're bipolar for smoking cigarettes. Because if you're so proud of your health and this and that and your sanity, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I got my shit together, look at me, and you're out there puffing, obviously you don't, because you're ruining and you're destroying your lungs and your body. So you're a hypocrite. Should have known better. Should have known better, Leticia. Leticia, you should have known better. But you did it because you were manipulated by your family members who told you they loved you. And then the people, when you got older, they said they loved you. They would never leave you. They loved you. But they didn't. Because they lied. Because they were gaslighting you all those years. Wow. And they say I'm pretty. I worry for the pretty girls then. That sucks. I worry for my kid. Because if this is the reality pretty girls get, it's not worth it. Not worth it in the slightest.